What you're looking at on the screen is 1 month's revenue in my business. As I click through the days of the month, you can see we had a $22,000 day. We also had a $27,000 day. The reason I share this with you is because I managed to do this as a 17-year-old with absolutely no advantages. I come from a single parent household. I didn't have any crazy money up front, and I actually washed dishes in order to buy my first course, which turned out to be a complete scam. I want to show you my business model because it is not coaching. Information loses value the second that you say it. How I actually make the YouTube videos that do this to get attention, how I actually have a funnel that sells itself. I get messages almost a few times a week just asking people, hey, how can I work with you? Hey, how can I pay you? And then also how I deliver for customers if I'm not just giving them a once a week mastermind call and maybe some responses over WhatsApp or something. So to start with the business model, I pretty much use a micro YouTube channel, which is just highly targeted, highly specific YouTube videos to sign on clients for a specific service and then position the videos as sales letters. For my previous company, what that looked like was it was marketing agencies. So we were setting appointments for them, running ads, doing email, whatever it might be. And for the current business that I use, I make YouTube videos for my clients. So to show you an example of what that looks like, you can see here I have Slack channels where I'm communicating with them, going through and building things out every single day. In addition to that, we also have all these assets with thumbnails in them, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason why I share this with you is because what this means is that it's tangible and therefore has recurring value. I'm able to get clients to pay me month after month after month and have predictable revenue because what I'm doing is actually valuable from a tangibility and actual service basis. When you're selling purely information, it loses its value the second that you say it out loud. So a lot of people who sell straight up information are only able to collect one-time payments, and then that is the lump sum of what they're going to earn from that customer. Now, the reason why I also do a service is because it's a lot easier and it can sell itself. That is one of the biggest things here. With information, you're going to need a sales process, you're going to need closers, setters, all these things. But if you build out a really good service and you have results associated with that, people are going to ask you, hey, what's the price? Okay, that's reasonable. Let's do it. And if you can really execute and get results, you're going to be able to sign on clients for life doing that. Now, the next natural question is, well, how do I actually make these videos, both for myself to acquire clients and then also for my clients to acquire clients? And what I'll say is that if you want me to make YouTube videos for you, you always have the option to schedule a call with me down below. However, I'm going to walk you through the process that I use right now because I try and keep it really simple. And again, we're creating low view content to get conversions. So this is a bare bones diagram of what the process for doing this actually looks like. I'm going to go in and do it live for you right after I cover this. However, most of a video's success is actually just completely reliant on these few steps here. Pretty much the idea you have, the packaging of the video, and what you're going to choose for the title and thumbnail. That alone determines a video's success. If you are at least mediocre on camera, you're going to be able to convert clients just by focusing on this alone. So pretty much the way that you're going to succeed on YouTube, I'm not going to try and give you a magic pill because there isn't one, is what I like to call volume and ratios. So for ideas, you want to mention and you want to maintain a 1:25 ratio, meaning that per one idea that you select, one video that you make, you have to go through 25 other ideas that you said no to. So for this video you're watching right now, I said no to 25 other ideas of what I could actually make today. Again, same thing that goes here with the packaging. For the title that we have, I actually like to make this extremely high. For the title, I usually do a 1:50 ratio. So for the title that you clicked on for this video, I had 50 other titles that I said no to in order to pick the one that was actually selected. And same thing for the thumbnail here. So for the thumbnail, I usually do a 1:10 just because that requires a little bit more graphic design skill. And a hack for making thumbnails that I've seen almost nobody talk about is when you're trying to create them, you have the ability to just sketch them out. You don't need to go ahead and be a graphic design major or anything like that. What you want to do is if you have 10 thumbnail ideas, you're going to go ahead and you're going to create boxes like this, and you're just going to build out what the rough elements of the thumbnail actually are going to be. So if it's a before and after video, you have this here, you have this here, you might have a little day thing at the top here, and then maybe you have an arrow going like this. And I kid you not, a drawing like that led to the video I'm going to show you. So you can see the literal concept executed on this channel here, and this video has a 6.1% click-through rate while actually being served to 12,000 people, which in my micro niche of YouTube is an extremely good channel performance given I only have 2,000 subscribers on this channel. And it literally just came from doing 10 designs like this and just comparing what the different versions of it would actually look like. I had a few that were kind of built out like this, where I had a number overall that was just kind of behind me. So it would be like 100 or something along those lines. And I decided that, yeah, this one looks the best. I went to ChatGPT, I had it whip up an AI thumbnail for me. And then from that point on, I was able to make it. So this is inside my GPT where you can see me doing this. So this video here was a reskin with my face on a Mr. Beast video. And I took this image right here amongst the other kind of versions of myself, and I turned it into this thumbnail right here, writing I used AI. And this video again is ranking in search, which means it's going to consistently get views, and it has a pretty solid click-through rate, given that I maybe spent 5 minutes total just prompting it and then waiting for it to actually spit it out for me. So that is the overall process for both titles and thumbnails. And no matter what anybody tells you, the way that you're going to make this work and you're going to make great videos is just by putting in the time to create the volume of actually having these ratios good. Now, this is the 20% of the video that accounts for the 80% of the results that you're actually going to get. Now we move into the structuring and the recording, launching, and optimizing of these videos. So the way that I go ahead and actually structure, the most important thing that you have in a video is the hook. If you can hook a viewer, you can get them on the line watching the video. Every other mistake you make in the video, every other thing that you mess up, screw up, even stutter, then becomes a part of the performance. And as a result, they begin to like you more. So the most important part, the only part where you cannot screw up, is just the hook. And the way that I do the hook is an extremely simple format. First thing you want to do is you want to restate the title. Restating the title, it's something that the biggest YouTubers in the world do. It just immediately delivers on the expectation you've set with the title and the thumbnail in the most efficient way possible. Then from that point on, once you've restated the title, you want to dive into some form of proof. So as you can see in this video, I just showed you my Stripe account. After you've done the proof, you want to what I call throwing rocks. So you want to throw rocks at the traditional model. For this video, I threw rocks at the traditional coaching model with a few weekly calls and all that stuff. And then after you've thrown rocks, you want to state your mechanism of how you're going to achieve it using your way. And my way of doing that was that very blank, simple Google document where I just showed you everything I'm going to cover in that video. And this simple format, if you can condense this down to, and a lot of people say the first 30 seconds, if you're a smaller channel, I recommend you try and do it just as quickly as possible. Even within 10 to 20 seconds would be ideal. And then because of that, you'll just have more time to just share what you have in the video. Now, when it comes to the video length and you're actually recording it, there's a few things that matter. The first thing is going to be the CTA. If you're making YouTube videos to make money and sign on clients, it doesn't matter if they watch the entire video. It matters how long they're watching in relation to the amount of call to actions that you actually have if that video is a conversion oriented video. So what that means is when you're planning out your call to actions, let's say that this is the entire body of the video. This is 100% of the video. You want to position CTAs in a few ways. The first thing you want to do is in the first 30 seconds as you provide proof, this is going to provide you authority. So this is like a mini authority soft call to action. A great example of this is Alex Hormozi. In almost every video he introduces himself, says he's the CEO of a portfolio of companies that accrue $100 million in revenue every single year. And because of that, you begin to trust him. Then from that point on, he is actually talking about acquisition.com, which if you ever gone to acquisition.com is the funnel that he uses. It's how he sells people. And that you want to position around the 30% mark. The average viewer duration on most videos is going to be around 30% if it's a good video. So at the 30% mark of every single video, you want to have your hardest call to action. This should be where your hardest call to action is. You can have other ones later on in the video, but if you look and you put a video and a call to action at the 80% mark, you might only have 20% of your audience watching that. And a lot of the time, even less, probably like 15 to 10% of your audience watching around this point. So putting a CTA here isn't really that beneficial. The most beneficial place is around that 30% mark where most of your viewers are still going to be watching that actually maintain throughout the whole video. So given an average YouTube video, let's say you have a 50% drop off on the hook of the video, you're now pitching at least 1/2 of the total view count, which then when you think about it this way and you think, oh, I'm pitching this many people and I'm posting 3 times per week, which is the volume that I like to post at, you are now making X amount of pitches per week, and you can compare that against ad costs and see that this is the most effective way to sign on clients. So from that point on, the way that you actually want to position your CTAs is you always want to position it as a next step forward to value. For example, the call to action that I do, I say, well, do you want me to make your YouTube videos? It's an offering for me to do something valuable for them. And then as a result, if they are actually interested in that, they have the ability to go through and kind of learn a little bit more about what I do. Again, example of Hormozi, he says he'll give you a custom roadmap. Another example of Iman, he says, hey, I'll show you the best business model to start. But the most important part is that this hard CTA always directs people to more value, and that is why it actually works and is so effective in the long run. That is exactly how you want to structure a video. Don't really care what you say. That is how I've done it, and I guess I'll learn as time goes on and get better.